Yo, what's up everybody? It's Cardis, super happy to be here with y'all. I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who watched my first guide video. I was super thrilled with all the feedback I was getting on it, so I decided to make another guide because a lot of people have requested it from me. And I just enjoy making content on YouTube for you guys in general. So yeah, today's video is going to be a guide on how to do VALDOKS Forge. And first things first is how VALDOK spawns in the overworld. So VALDOK is a titan, and to spawn a titan you need to kill mini bosses, which are your quests, in that titan's biome. So in the peaks where I am right now, you have to kill the Grand Lich, and then VALDOK will spawn. Now in my opinion, the most important thing for completing a forge is picking the right class to play. Personally, I like to use Warrior, but Commander and Berserker are good picks as well. The reason I'm suggesting these classes is because they have high defense. I suggest also having at least 45 defense on a character before you hop into a forge. The reason not to use the hide and robe classes is because their health and defense is simply not enough to do a forge easily, and even with max defense on the melee classes, you still take around 15 to 20 damage per shot, as well as you're constantly being hit by projectiles. I'll give you guys a quick rundown of the enemies. You got these 5 right here, who don't really do anything too crazy, but you should still watch out for them and do your best to dodge. They just have basic shots, and all the enemies do around the same damage per projectile, so it's not like any of them are really much different than the others. Now this enemy here is the one you want to pay attention to. He shoots these really fast knockback projectiles that are pretty hard to dodge, and they knock you back pretty far as well. A tip to keep in mind is try not to start any boss fights if this enemy is in the room. Do your best to drag it away, or clear it if you can. The last couple things to do before entering a forge is to bring like 3 to 4 HP potions, because HP potions are always useful. And another thing is just pay attention to your HP and be ready to nexus. It's not worth losing your character over nothing. So once you enter the forge, you will get a quest for the Forge Foundry, and there is 2 of them per dungeon. So once you clear the first one, the second one will appear as a quest as well. And once you clear the second one, you will get a quest to fight VALDOK. There is one more mini boss though, and that is Bothmer. He has around a 20% chance to spawn by a Forge Foundry, and just so I don't repeat myself a bunch, each one of these bosses is activated as soon as it takes any damage, so keep that in mind. Now how the fight goes for each boss and mini boss, the Forge Foundries are very easy on a class with good enough defense. Once activated, it will shoot 5 piercing shots toward the nearest player. They don't all go in one direction, they shoot out in like kind of a cone shape. And it's also going to spawn these damaging pillars that section off the room. Nothing much to explain here, the fight happens pretty quickly, so I'll move on to the Bothmer fight now. As you can see, once I shoot him, the fight begins. He has a few different shots. He has the small swords, the knockback shots, and the small shurikens. None of them do a lot of damage, so you should be okay, as long as your character's defense is high enough. The shuriken shots do slow you though, so be careful for that. The best way to fight Bothmer and finish him fast and easy is to let him knock you back into a wall, so you can shoot him and not miss any DPS without being knocked back any further. And don't worry, you might not like being pinned against the wall. Once you get knocked back, you actually have a little bit of invulnerability. So, the final boss is VALDOK. He is also pretty easy. You just need some practice, and once he activates, he has 2 choices for a phase that won't switch until about 60% damage is done. That's when he transforms. He won't switch phases until he transforms, so you don't have to worry about that. Both of the first phases are fairly easy to circle. One thing to be careful of is the circle shots. After being spawned in for about 5 seconds, they kind of follow players slowly. And then once they've reached their maximum time, they explode into a bunch of knockback shots and knock you back. The shots don't do much damage, but it does make the fight harder, so try to get him down to his transformed version as fast as possible. Once he transforms, he does the same pattern until you kill him. It's these boomerang shots, which means they go out and then they come back in. And he shoots them vertically, and then they come back in, and then he shoots them horizontally. This is also pretty easy, you just have to make sure not to be caught in the middle when the shots return. Now the best part is the loot for this dungeon. All the bosses drop defense scrolls, and there is 4 UTs as well. Bothmer drops Tetman's Ring and the Zweihander Claymore, which is one of the best claymores in the game. Sorry, I don't know if I pronounced that right. VALDOK drops the UT Aegis armor, which is the best heavy armor in the game 100%, and he drops the Stalwart Ring, which is probably a top 5 ring. That concludes this guide. I spent a lot of time making it, so if you guys did like the video, drop a like and feel free to subscribe. It takes like 2 seconds, and it also shows me if I did a good job or not, and comment if you guys want to see more guides or other kind of videos in the future, and I'll be looking for you guys next time. Peace.